Okay, so we're recording. Hello and welcome. Happy Monday. I can't believe we're already at the end of April, just a couple days out from May. We're just rolling through the year. We're almost halfway done. It's hard to believe. And as I was just saying before I hit record, I'm going to be playing a video from YouTube. It's about 15 minutes long. So if you guys want to, if you're taking notes, I would highly encourage you to go ahead and take notes, because this is another Jim Rohn video. It's not just a speech, it's more of something that was put together. I don't know, I don't necessarily follow this. I was just kind of looking for inspiration today on what to train on when it comes to recruiting, because I think that we all really need to have that constant reminder that our business relies on recruiting. If we stop, our business is going to stop, and that's going to be how it's going to be for the first couple of years. When you're starting a new business, you're always going to want to recruit. But before I just go on and on, I'm going to screen share. If you can tell me if you can see this, Alicia, thumbs up if you can see. Okay, I'm going to hit play and we'll talk about this after we're done. But like I said, it's about 15 minutes. And if there's like an advertisement that pops up, I'll hit skip ad as soon as it comes up. So here we go, you guys.
Let me quickly give you now a list of the skills that changed my life forever. Right, I knew how to milk cows, but didn't pay well. Here's the first skill I learned to change my life: getting a customer, making a sale. If you share a unique product, talk about its merits, persuade someone that it's the best, they agree to buy. That's the simple art of sales. So we're not talking like high-powered spacecraft technical skills here. It's simply sharing something you've discovered with someone else and doing it well enough to where they agree they would like to participate. Now, here's what happened when I learned sales. It multiplied my income by 5. Now, it didn't take that much because I wasn't doing that well in farm country, but it did multiply my income by 5. Sales, getting customers, laying that incredible foundation for an entrepreneurial career. So now I've got 2 skills: milking cows and making sales. Here's the next one I learned that changed me forever, and that's recruiting, introducing the business opportunity to new people, learning how to give a good invitation, learning how to give 2 kinds of presentation, formal and informal. And the third part of recruiting, of course, is following up. Once you start a new life, now you got to take care of it, like a new mother would take care of her baby. You don't start a new life and abandon it. You start a new life and nourish it like a mother and protect it like a father. You got to be both mother and father to a new person. Nourishment, ideas like a mother. Protection, help defend your new life against the encroachment of outside voices that would try to talk them out of it. So you got to be mother and father in this art of recruiting. We call it being a sponsor. And being a sponsor is like being a bridge, helping somebody from darkness to light, from skeptic to faith, from not knowing to knowing, from no confidence in themselves to starting to gain confidence. You're the bridge that helps people from the shadows to the sunlight. It's one of the most exciting positions to occupy in all of network marketing industry, is the bridge, helping people crossing the bridge out from discouragement into recognition. Being this bridge, that's what the recruiting magic is all about. You've got the answers. They've been looking for the answers. You've got the answers, and you help them cross this bridge. You see something in them before they can see it in themselves. You assure them that it's possible to be more than they are, therefore they can earn more than they've got, have more than they possess. This is one of the great arts in the world, and here's what's exciting about this art. It pays big money. Because now you operate a unique philosophy taught first in the Bible. Because the question was asked, how can we achieve greatness, great wealth, great power, great influence, great recognition, great self-esteem? How can we achieve greatness? The master teacher was asked. And here was his formula for achieving personal greatness. He said, find a way to serve the many. For service to many leads to greatness. For those that are interested. Some people aren't interested, but for those that are, service to many leads to greatness. Someone says, well, best I can do is just take care of myself. Okay, but it doesn't lead to greatness. Someone says, I got enough bills of my own, I can't worry about someone else's bills. That's okay, but it doesn't lead to greatness. Greatness is helping people pay their bills. You forget about yours. Because if you help enough people pay theirs, yours disappear. Help people with problems, your problems disappear. The key to greatness, the master teacher taught, is finding a way. Now, a lot of people would like to serve many people, but they don't have a way. And what's exciting about you and your business is you've now got the way. Whether you use it or not, it's up to you. Whether you cash it in or not is up to you. Whether you make a fortune or just a little, that's all up to you. Each person's ambition, it's called the same marketing. The same product. The products are the same for everybody here. The marketing system is the same. The difference is each person's philosophy and each person's individual ambition. But whatever your ambitions are, now you've got the ways and means. And here's what you've got the ways and means to do. Serve as many people as you would like. Now, here's what's exciting about recruiting. With what you're involved in here, you can directly and indirectly affect the lives of dozens of people. Some of you are going to directly and indirectly affect the lives of hundreds of people. And some of you, if you wish, can directly and indirectly affect the lives of thousands of people. And the pay is accordingly. If you affect a few, you earn that pay. If you affect the many, you earn that pay. But the secret is found in the Bible. Service to many leads to greatness. Now, John Kennedy said it in his inaugural speech. Here's what he said: don't ask. Don't we wish that was the current political philosophy? John Kennedy said, don't ask. That's important if you understand philosophy. He said, don't ask what the people can do for you. Don't ask what the country can do for you. Don't ask what the government can do for you. That's not how you get rich. That's not how you have high self-esteem. That's not how you get trophies to put on the mantle above the fireplace, asking what the people can do for you. Don't ask, he said, what the people can do for you, but ask, what could I do for my country? And the country means the people. What could I do for the people? I want trophies. I want recognition. I want high self-esteem. I would even like a chance to make a fortune. John Kennedy says it's easy. Don't ask what the people can do for you, but ask, what could I do for the people? Could I directly and indirectly serve many in my country? And now that you are participating in this program, the answer is yes. Now, Zig probably said it best. Zig's got some great stuff. Zig and I have been good friends for a lot of years. Zig says money isn't everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. Zig says, my dentist told me, Zig, only floss the teeth you want to keep. But here, Zig is famous for this now. This is one of Zig's philosophies, and it goes right along with the other two, the Bible and John Kennedy. Here's what Zig says. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything you want. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything you want. Now, wanting everything you want, we call that self-interest. But it's okay to have self-interest if you do it in a positive way. By helping enough people get what they want, you can have everything you want. Now, you can accomplish all that by learning this next skill called recruiting. And I learned it, and it made me fortunes. So now I've got 3 skills: milking cows, making sales, and recruiting. Here's the next skill I learned that paid big money: organizing. Once you got a few, get them to work together, see, and that's magic. Getting people to work together is magic. Now, yes, it's challenging, like having some, several members of your family, getting them to work together is challenging, but it's magic. Getting husband and wife to work together is challenging, but it's magic when it happens. But everything magic is challenging. You just got to jot that down. Everything magic is challenging. But once you figure out the challenge and go for it, then the magic occurs. Let me tell you how magical people working together is. Let me quote the Bible again. It says, if 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing is impossible. Just try that on for your mental size. If 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing's impossible. Everybody's looking for a challenge. Here's what I teach, especially the kids. Here's the best challenge in the world. Let's go do it. Not you go do it. Let's go do it. If 2 or 3 of us decide on a common purpose to do it, nothing's impossible. Incredible. Working together, organizing. Now, when everybody's an independent, now it's a little more challenging. Like having kids, they've each got their own opinions. They've each got their own ambitions and desires. It's challenging. You've got a variety. But that's what makes life, the variety. Getting people to work together. It's like herding cats. You know, sheep are easy, but you got to try cats, herding cats. But if you can possibly get it done, the power is so immense when you get people to work together. Here's one of the powers of working together, shared testimonials. If I've got somebody new and you're there and I'm there, I give them my testimonial, you give your testimonial. Maybe what tips the scales in getting me a new person is not my testimonial, but my partner's testimonial. Somebody I'm working with, their testimonial got it. Shared testimonials are so powerful. That's why working together is powerful. Now, working by yourself is okay. All this stuff is okay. Everybody needs to know, though, where are the advantages? And these are some of the advantages. I learned to organize, paid big money. Here's what I next learned to do. Promote. Promotion now pays staggering money. Here's one of the secrets. Rewarding people for small steps of progress. Rewarding people. Sometimes it's just recognition, handshake, pat on the back. Mary, you're doing a fabulous job. And you figure out what those recognitions are. Small steps of progress. Guess what promotion pays if you learn it well? Big money. Getting people to do something they wouldn't ordinarily do by themselves. People will do some unique things by themselves, but if you can figure out a way to say, Mary, if you do this and this, she says, well, I'll go for it. Now, she wouldn't have thought of that on her own. Here's what works magic. It's better than money. Money's a bit unimportant. Here's what's important. Ingenuity. Figuring out a way. If it doesn't work this way, it will work another way. I used my ingenuity, made a fortune. My ingenuity worked on doing all these campaigns, the spring campaign and the summer campaign and the winter campaign. I learned promotion and it paid big money. Here's next I learned, communication. How to conduct a meeting. I learned identification, logic and reason, attack and confess, solution. Simple deals on communication. Wasn't easy for me at first. I stood up to give my first presentation. My mind sat back down. Right? Y'all been through that? Opened my mouth, nothing came out for a while. But here's what I did. I did it again. Just jot that phrase down. I did it again. That's the secret to how I got here. 35, 40 years later, it's how I got here. I did it once, it was uncomfortable. That first presentation was so lousy. If I hadn't have been doing it, I'd have gone home. It was not that good. But here's the secret to how I got here. I did it again, and then I did it again, and then I did it again, and I did it again. I remember when I first decided to be a little more animated, right? And walk out away from the podium, right? Get out from just behind the podium. So I got out there, and then I thought, how do you get back? Whoa, I'm stranded out here. So learn communication. How to affect other people with words. That's the greatest art in the world to learn. How to affect other people with words. Key phrase, don't be lazy in language. If you learn to use the gift of your own language wisely, it can make you a fortune and build an incredible life. Here's 3 other things I learned. One is to train. Training people how the business works. And then I've used another word called teach, train and teach. And only to say this, training people how the business works, teaching is how life works. Because here's what all of us need for the 21st century, business skills and life skills. The life skills are leadership skills. The life skills are learning how to set goals. Now here's the ultimate skill to learn that can transform your life and the life of whoever will listen, the ability to inspire. Inspire means help people to look up a little higher than where they are and wish they could get there. And inspire them that it's possible. Here's how we inspire, by our own testimonial. If I can do it, you can do it. Here's how else we inspire, by others' testimonial. If they can do it, Mary, you can do it. Getting people to see themselves better than they are. Getting people to see themselves richer than they are. Getting people to see themselves more capable next year than they are this year. Getting to see themselves in the future. To help both your kids and your people, here's what you must learn to do. Number 1, help people to see themselves as they are. If people have made mistakes, they got to know it. You can't go on making mistakes and hope to achieve. Mistakes have to be corrected. And you've got to do it with your children. Help them to see themselves as they are. If they've messed up, here's what you've got to say. You've messed up. But here's what's important as a parent. Don't leave them in the mess. Some parents tell their kids they've messed up and then they leave them in the mess. They don't paint a better picture. Here's what you could become with just a couple of more changes. Rather than this, here's what you could be. So we must help our children see themselves as they are, but here's the greatest gift: to help our children see themselves better than they are. To transport them not only past to see their mistakes, but transport them to the future to see their opportunity. To see the person they can become. My mentor had that greatest gift to help me to see myself better than I was. At first it was difficult to see, then I started to believe, and that's how I got here today. He said, one of these days, Mr. Owen, you'll walk into a room full of people and you will hear some of them say, that's him, that's the famous man. I said, well, that could never happen to me. He said, trust me. If you keep working hard on the disciplines like you're doing right now, that'll happen. You'll walk into a room full of people and you'll hear one say, that's him, that's the famous man. He saw it and he tried to get me to see it. And now finally it's happened. I think when I walked in here today, I think I heard someone say, that's him, that's the famous man.
So that's the video that I wanted you guys to watch. I was, like I said, I was going to try to summarize it. I watched it about 2 times earlier today. I really liked it. I was looking for some inspiration to talk about recruiting. And that one really stood out to me. So before I kind of dive into it, I don't know, I know we're really intimate tonight, but if anybody on here, if anything stood out to you, anything extra that you didn't necessarily expect for it to stand out to you, I would love to hear from anybody that's on with us tonight, or else I can kind of just dive into my training. Okay. So,
Sarah, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something that kind of drove home. And Travis had said this before. He says, I've done first webinar, it's terrible. I did it again and again and again. I must have done pretty close to at least 500 Zooms when I was, this was maybe, 3 years ago. And it was like 3 times a week. And, it got to the point where it just rolled off my tongue. First time I had to talk to somebody about APLGO, it was one of the guys that I was in a program with, and it was all the Russians that were in Toronto. And so my job in that time was to give the presentation and they would translate. And I mean, they signed up tons of people. And so the first time I told him about this, at the end of it, and when I said goodbye, first thing was I just stunk. And I think I wrote you a little note and I said, man, this is terrible. And it's like, now we've got, a lot of top leaders to speak with, like either individually or in pairs and stuff like this, and it's really nice that you offered to help. And I think you said Travis would help. And the whole thing is that by helping and making people great, you become great. Like you also reap the rewards from it. And as more and more I hear this, like by professionals that know all the stuff with APLGO, I'll pick it up quickly, but that's what stuck out for me anyway.
Absolutely. I really kind of like that you started with that, because I was going to go backwards. I really like that he said that he got here to where he was with his success because he kept doing it again. And I think that we can take that and really run with it, because when it came to doing the presentation or the product business overview for the first time, I accepted it. And I was awful. I was nervous. I was talking like so fast. I think I powered through the whole overview in like 20 minutes. I did it so quickly. I left things out, but I got better at it because I kept doing it again. I mean, Alicia and I used to do our overviews every Monday, and no matter who would show up, no matter how many people were on or how many people weren't on, we always did it. We kept showing up and doing it. And that's why we were able to get so fluent with the way that we presented the opportunity or the product when we get on the phone. So I know that we have a lot of these overviews that happen throughout the week. We have, Monday nights, the Oscars do it right before our training. And then Tuesday nights, we have Kelly and Tina. And Wednesday nights, sometimes Kari will come on and do it. Thursday nights tend to be Travis or somebody else. And then we have, I believe, our company presentation. And I know that I've seen the numbers going down and down and down on those overviews. And I know that a lot of us have been here since, this past summer, the last, 8 months, 9 months, 6 months, 5 months, to however long it may be. I think it's really important not only for us to show up to these, it doesn't have to be every day, but to show up at least once a week and to invite our prospects onto it, because if you keep doing it, you're finally going to have success. And that's the thing is, if we stop talking about this, if we stop presenting it, if we stop sharing it, if we stop inviting people to look at it, if we stop doing our own one-on-one presentations, how can we expect the same success that we were having when we were doing it then? So I feel like tonight I really wanted to play that video for us because we have these constant reminders, these things that really stood out to me is I did it again. And the thing after that that stuck out to me most was, if you help enough people pay their bills, eventually your bills are going to go away. I think it's hard, especially in the beginning, when people come into a team or a company or however they want to look at their opportunity, and they don't necessarily understand why they have this big group of support. Now, we're all self-employed here, but we're not by ourselves. So we're self-employed, but we're not by ourselves. And I love that you can really feel that sense of community within our team, especially, but within our company. I really like that we all understand that we're on the same mission. I love looking into the Candy Girls group, the Candy Crew team chat. If I have a missed call from somebody under me and they needed me, and I go in and I can see that they got help from Alicia or they got help from somebody else, because you guys are all on that same mission. And the recognition is something else that's going to make people feeling that sense of community or that sense of culture, is when we bring new people in, to make a big deal about it, to be as excited for them as we were when we first came in. We have to remember about our excitement, and we have to celebrate each and every new person. We have to celebrate those people that are going diamond. We have to celebrate when they bring in new associates or new customers. It's really important that we celebrate our achievements, even if to us they're not the biggest deal. If we make it a big deal, if we keep our excitement levels up, it's going to be contagious. Remember, energy is contagious. So recruitment right now, it should be our main focus, every single one of us, no matter how big or how small our teams are. We should be focusing on how many numbers, how many people we can talk to, how many people are we asking to join us, how many people, if they're not interested in the opportunity, are we asking them if they want to be our customers? And just going from there. If we keep doing it again and doing it again and doing it again, even if they say no, you say thank you and you keep moving forward. So thank you, David, for pointing that out, because that was something to me that made a huge impact on me during this whole speech tonight, was just showing up, doing it again, getting good at these things, making things possible. I mean, I took so many notes earlier, but I love that the two skills that we really want to master are the business skills and our life skills. Because if we have the ability to inspire others, something that I guess really has made a big impact on my career and in my self-development in network marketing was when I sat down in my previous company, in the first company that we were a part of, with one of the top people in that company. And I said to him, how do you get people to spend the money? He said, you have to paint the picture. And that's always stood out to me, is if we get really good at painting that picture, if we can let them see what we see for them, then they're going to join us. We just have to get really good at painting that picture. And the more appealing, the more beautiful that picture is, the sooner they're going to jump into it to make that picture become a reality. So I wanted to try to keep this training about 30 minutes tonight. Again, I want to open up the microphones to see if anybody has any questions specifically about recruiting. I think we can't forget that when part of the biggest thing and when it comes to recruiting is we can't be scared to follow up. And when we're following up, we have to be intentional about that follow-up. We can't just say, hey, how's it going? Hey, the sun, it's beautiful out. Hey, your kids look pretty today. Be intentional. Say, have you looked at my videos? Have you watched what I sent you? Did you try the product? Are you ready to get your hands on your own product? Are you ready to start feeling better? Because when you're intentional like that, you're going to get the yes or no answer. And even if it's a no, that's better than just beating around the bush constantly.
I have something kind of funny to share about that. So a few months ago, I wanted to look into investing in cannabis because it's like going crazy right now. And so somebody connected me to this guy that does this investing or whatever. And that man is so persistent. So persistent. Like I can show you messages that he has sent me. I'm gonna see if I can show you. Okay, so let me just go back a little bit. He'll message me, and I just wasn't ready in my life. I'm busy. I don't have time to look at this. Yes, I'm interested. He gave me a little bit of information, but he's like, "Can I check back? Question mark. Good morning. Hope you had a good night. You never responded to my email. Okay, I'm sorry you're busy. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hi, how are you today? Hey, Alicia, how are you? Hello, how are you? It's been a while, Alicia." Like he literally was going on and on. And I was like, finally, I'm like, I told him, I said, you kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like I came right out and told him that. I'm like, because I told him that I'm busy. I don't like being pressured for one. But because of his constant follow-up, finally today, I took a few minutes and actually looked at the information. And now I have questions. Now I'm a little bit more interested. But he kind of like, he frustrated me, got under my skin a little bit. But now my tune has changed some because I'm like, this guy actually has something that's kind of cool. Like, I feel like, he really believes in what he has. That's why he keeps following up with me, because he knows if I see what he has, then I'll like it too. So anyway, I just thought that kind of fit into here, what we're talking about following up with people.
No, it's so true. And I think that's the biggest misperception is when people say like, well, they're not answering me, or, I haven't heard back from them. It's like, well, how many times have you reached out to them? And not everybody is going to be in the right place. And we can't take it offensively when they don't necessarily answer. But what we can do is we can come back around and tap them on the shoulder. And we don't have to be every single day like shaking the person and screaming in their face like, answer me. But if they stop responding, at least check back once a week. And and then if you guys get the conversation going again and you build that rapport and you have that communication line open, then you can just be direct and say, hey, it's been a little bit of time since we've talked about it. What have you thought? And I love with our rapid funnel, again, if you guys don't have this app, I don't know if you've seen, but in the rapid funnel section underneath business or opportunity and present, there's a new video there. For those of you that weren't in Vegas and you're not aware that it's been released yet, but there's a new company video that's in the rapid funnel underneath. So under resources, opportunity, present, and then there's a new APL Go company video, and it's really good. It goes into the science. It has Travis and Summer are talking in it. Tina and Kelly are speaking in it, and they weren't going to release it until it got approved by compliance, which it did, but it's there now. But I love rapid funnel. Going back to why I love it is because I can see when people actually watch the videos. I can see if they've watched the whole thing, if they watched 25% of it, if they're lying to my face and saying they actually looked at it when I know that they didn't. I like being able to see and gear my response based on actual facts. How much of it did they watch? Did they watch it? If they said that they watched it and they didn't, and they're saying that, their comp plan is, pays out more generously than ours, and it's just not appealing. I say, oh, really? So, and I'm able to gear questions. I don't necessarily want to call them a liar to their face, but I'm able to at least say, hey, I'm able to see this, that, like, the progress of the videos that you've watched. Why don't you take a few minutes when you have the time and actually sit down and watch it, and we can talk then. So absolutely, Alicia, it's funny that you say that, because Kevin and I are we're very consistent with our follow-ups, and we like to say that we'd much rather get blocked or be told to F off than to just be ignored. So, kudos to him for following up like that. But, everybody has their own methods, and, some people are going to be more open sooner, and some people are going to avoid you like the plague. And all you can do is hope and pray that one day they do answer you. But you got to keep, planting those seeds and keep watering those seeds. And eventually we're going to have our harvest. Some seeds are going to sprout sooner than others, and some are going to need that extra attention. So
Sarah, can I say something? I was just thinking about what you just said about like somebody just flat out lying to you. Now think about this. You want to work with somebody who lies to you. Now that's just one question, but I was listening to a conversation, very short conversation today about lying. And when people perceive more pleasure than pain in the situation, they're going to lie, or pain versus pleasure. Like they're just going to lie. So like that person, whoever lies to you, they didn't want to have a real conversation, and you probably don't want to work with them, maybe.
yeah, and I like that this gives us the ability to see that. Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, I just haven't seen you for so long. Hi. Sorry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I agree, because, also it's also set me up in the instance too, where I've sent a video out to somebody to watch, not anticipating for them to watch as soon as they did, but because I got notified sooner, I was able to move forward faster, and it actually sped up the process of them coming on board. Deborah, I see you raising your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you like something that happened today that was kind of comical, because I was listening to the whole thing about the if you get a no, just kind of move on. And I was at lunch with my husband, and I had overheard a nurse speaking in the booth next to us about her chronic pain, and she's not going to go to work fully, and she's going to chiropractic work and PT and all this stuff. And so I had my lozenges with me in my bag, like I always do, and I had my my book from the Las Vegas conference. So I quickly grabbed it, and I kind of just wrote her a note because I didn't want to disrupt her conversation with her friend. And we actually pretty much finished at the same time. And when I got up, I handed her the note, just like, hey, I overheard, you speaking. Didn't want to be like rude or anything, but I heard you speaking about the pain and stuff like that. And I do have some, some lozenges here that are, could be helpful for you. And I kind of just gave her a rundown real quick, maybe like a 2-minute rundown of what I was talking about. And I told her, if you want, I can definitely get you some samples right here. I have them in my bag. And so I started pulling them out, and I handed them to her. She said, wait, I have cash on me. How much are each one of the boxes? And I said, well, 25 wholesale. So I was fine just giving her away samples. And she says, well, I have cash. Here's $25, and I get a full box of the SLD and the STP then, or the SLD. And I said, well, I don't have a full box, but I definitely have a sleeve of both, so I can put one of each, which is actually more beneficial to you anyways. So I literally on the spot ended up selling her a box, got her information, and then her girlfriend next to me wanted the same thing. So it was kind of intriguing that I sought out just to give her a couple little samples, and right then and there she's like, forget it, let me have what you got, because she's in pain. So that's something I just wanted to give information on today from.
I love that. And think about too, the fact that it's something that's appealing, like a hard candy, and it's not a pill. Imagine walking up to somebody and handing them pills. The skepticism is going to be a lot higher. I've heard that before, where Nancy, who's in our corporate department, she said she's been getting on a plane and she's been popping, drops, and they'll be like, hey, what's that? And when she offers it to them, they're not opposed to trying it. I mean, I've had the same experience when I was on the plane. I shared some of my product, and I was able to get their information and put them into the funnel system and start that open communication about, do you want to join me as a business, or do you want to join me as a customer? But the fact that we have a product that is as appealing as a candy drop, it benefits us. And if we're confident, like I've seen Deborah in real time going after these people, and she's very excited, and her energy is contagious.
I
And
have pictures.
Yeah, I mean, like her, if you experience when somebody's in the group and somebody is excited and they're telling the story and they're sharing and they're talking, it's exciting to see because you can see the response. If she walked up to somebody and she's like, "Hi, I have this drop. Sorry, I was listening to you," and she was very monotone about it and had no energy behind her, people would probably look at her like, "Get the F away from me, you nut." But like she
I think
can,
they do that anyways. They're like, give me the drop, get away.
but like Deborah, her energy, it's uplifting, it's excited, it's inviting, it's, I want to help you. And when you approach a person like that, no matter whether it be in person or on the phone or in Messenger, I mean, we have our voice stuff, people are going to be more receptive to that energy that we give out.
And that double testimonial thing that he was speaking about, I mean, I have to go back to yesterday with, or not yesterday, Friday. No, it was yesterday, wasn't it, Kel? Anyways, yesterday, I made Kelly come out with me because I've been wanting this girl to be a customer for a while now. I've been actually talking to her for 2 months. And finally, I landed her yesterday because Kelly came out and we went back and forth on testimonials until she was like, well, buy the boxes. I was like, okay, but what about customer? Let's get you as a customer. So she came on as a customer, and I've been wanting her for the last couple of months as a customer, and I landed her yesterday. So, but that was all thanks to Kelly backing me up with that testimonial, having the same level of energy. Well, the same laugh as me as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, edification is everything. Third party edification, not just three-way calls, not just messenger chats, but our Go Life testimonial group is so powerful. If you guys get your prospects in there and you start tagging them in different testimonies, especially ones that are going to be appealing towards whatever they're wanting to gear their focus towards, that's going to be what's going to sell them, because you don't necessarily have to, sketch out that time slot to get them to listen to the person. You're able to actually put them in a group with almost 5,000 people in there, and they can scan through and they can start reading testimonies of, how is it helping with my pain? How is it helping with my allergies? How is it helping with my blood sugar? How is it helping with this? How is it helping with that? And they can search on their time, and then you can actually go through also and tag them in those posts. So did anybody else have any other questions geared towards recruiting or presenting or anything else?
Okay, I was muted. Isn't now in a lot of companies that I've done, the testimonials had to be first person. It had to be yourself. You couldn't take a second or third or fourth person testimonial. And that's something that I don't know if it was SEC that's against it, or some government organization or whatever. They wouldn't allow you to do that. Am I off base here for this?
So when you're on public social media doing it, like when you're sharing, you're not supposed to share somebody else's testimony. But if you're having a conversation with a person, David, and it's one-on-one, who is there to monitor what you're saying? You know what I mean? You got to just be smart about the way you're presenting something. Technically, what you're saying in compliance manners, you're supposed to share your own testimony. But if you put them in the Go Life group and people are sharing their own testimonies on that group, they're able to do it because they're speaking first-handedly. Plus, it's private. And again, when you're speaking on the phone or you're in a conversation that's offline where not all eyes are on you, why can't you share a story that you heard?
Also, business testimonies are different as well. Like we can share, each other's success in the business, I think, all day long without restrictions, as long as people understand that income results may vary,
I hope did we answer your question properly, David?
Well, I mean, it's like just what Alicia said too, is that we weren't ever supposed to put in any kind of earnings and income, talking about that in the company to entice people. So I don't know, and I realize you're talking about a toe-to-toe, belly-to-belly, and I get that. But I'm sure that at some other functions or whatnot, I'm sure that some people have spoken, and it started to kind of go out, and you've got a group in front of you before you know it, and they're asking you all kinds of questions like that. So, but I get it. Sure, I get it. As long as it's toe to toe, belly to belly, then you can tell them whatever you want.
Well, David, for me, for instance, when I share about my health testimony, I can go into nitty-gritty detail if I want to. I can talk about diagnosis name, I can talk about symptoms, I can talk about what it alleviated, I can talk about what it changed. But when I'm talking about it in the sense of, being on stage, for instance, in Vegas, when I spoke briefly about how it changed my life in 2 short weeks and I was able to better my health unlike anything I've ever experienced, I didn't go into detail because I knew that I was being filmed. I knew that there were eyes on me, that people were going to hear and repeat. So I said it in a way where I could share without going into too much detail, where I'm not giving too much information, and it's a briefer testimony anyway. And for the people that wanted to know more, they came over and grabbed me and said, hey, what was it that you were suffering from? Hey, what was it that it changed?
Okay, I understand.
So, and again, I'm going to keep this training really short tonight. I know that video took up 15 minutes, but since we're going on to about 6:45, or depending where you are, about quarter till, I just want to see if anybody else has any other questions. Otherwise, I really think that that video was awesome. I'll post the actual YouTube video to what we watched in our Candy Girl group chat, so the people that weren't with us tonight can watch it, but I'll also post the training recording as well.
Will I find it on the Candy Boys too?
The Candy Girls and the Candy Crew, yes. So I don't see anybody else unmuting themselves to ask any other questions. So I'm going to stop recording here.